because I do 1,300 crunches and sit-ups 4 times a week.
What's a dose? Can you translate for us?
Winner of the gold medal and the champion golfer of the year is Ernie Els.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Go Track, the podcast about golf and golf adjacent stuff, mostly from Africa. It's Teabag here. Got a really great episode lined up this week. We had the pleasure of playing Durban Country Club, the grand old lady of South African golf. She's back, and I can tell you now, we were very stoked with our round there. So this episode is really just some kind of ramblings from the crew that we assembled to go play at DCC this week, and just kind of our initial thoughts and takes on the golf course. We had Swan there, we had JDV, and we were hosted very kindly by DCC member Guy Hankinson. So, guys, just a reminder to download the Wonderpar app. Wonderpar is the app that rewards you just for being on the golf course. We have started up a partnership with Wonderpar. Very psyched about it. Go to your app store, download the app, select your course you're playing on, and that is it. Put your phone back in your bag and you will earn Wonder tokens while you're playing, and these can be redeemed for vouchers and discounts and raffles, whole bunch of things in the Wonderpar store. It's a really simple app to use, self-explanatory. So jump on. That's Wonderpar, WUNDER par. And I know our guy Duran from Wonderpar is in the States right now, so I'd love to see the deals that he's cooking up over there to bring some more stuff to the Wonderpar store. Kind of got my eye, I got to be honest, there's still this custom painted Mizuno putter that has gone up for raffle. So I'm going to throw some of my Wonder tokens that I earned this week at DCC. I'm going to chuck them in there for that putter. But yeah, guys, go check it out. And over to the episode now. Jacques, very nice to have you with us. Can you just describe the setting?
So, Teabag, we are here just on the balcony of the 19th hole at Durban Country Club. I think the 19th hole, when we get to that rating, it's definitely going to be up here. We are looking onto the 18th green. And what a perfect evening after a round of golf here playing DCC Revamped Edition.
Got a couple of other guests sitting here with us. They are looking a bit forlorn because they may have been defeated on the 18th hole. We can get into that just now. But good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Guy. Thank you for having us today. How's it going?
How's it, chaps? Yeah, thanks for having me on this amazing podcast.
You hold your microphone like you hold your driver, leaning, aiming it to the left. Swan, welcome back to the show. Nice to have you back on. How's it going?
Yeah, thanks, T. No, going well. Thank you, Ghazi, for hosting us. Guy Hankinson, for everyone who needs to know out there. Ghazi hosted us today. One of four.
Thank you, Ghazi.
So we only got 3 left with Ghazi, and then we're done.
We've ticked one off, but the good news is it's a bit of a cheat code because it is like the middle of the year, so we can probably play every 6 weeks now, and we're good. So let's get those calendar entries in. Guys, we just wanted to give you our initial thoughts on playing DCC. It's obviously undergone a massive renovation / restoration, though I think a lot of it is more renovation than restoration. And we had a great day out there today. It was probably not your typical winter's day. It was a very nice sunny day. It was warm, but more of a summer's day for me than a winter's day. It was warm out there, and we had a pretty solid club and a half wind to deal with the whole day. So it was a really nice test. I think I'm just going to go around the table here and ask you guys, particularly JDV and Swan, what your sort of initial thoughts are having played it. What's kind of the first thing that comes to mind when you think about coming back here today?
Yeah, so on the top 100 courses, we predicted big things for DCC. I think we said that there was a 3-horse race at the top of the top 100, and we said, but DCC wasn't ranked, and we predicted that DCC would be in the top 3 mix. I'm interested to hear what Swanee thinks about that. I think genuinely that it will be in the mix. I think it might be a couple of years before it is in the mix. The fairways, I think, need to grow in. The greens need to grow in a bit more. And some of the grass and sort of construction site sort of spots, Swanee took a very dubious drop from what he said had some hazard tape on from building rubble, but yeah, the greenkeeper's rubble. But I certainly think that what they've done with the course, how it's looking, the setting, it is primed, I think, to be in that top 3 conversation. What a great layout. The changes that they've made have certainly enhanced the course. I think for me, the massive thing is just the initial view that you get, where it used to be sort of rundown bowling lawn bowls sites. Now they've changed that into a putting green, a big putting green, and a little chipping area there. They've opened it all up with some sort of native grass around there, and pulled the tee box back, opened everything up, so you've got sight of the course. I mean, when you walked in there, it's with the sort of imposing clubhouse that you've got, beautiful clubhouse and the ocean view. I think you a couple of years' time, I think DCC is definitely now going to be a top 3, top 100 contender.
That's a very bold prediction, but I like it. It's a bit difficult for me to. I'm not sure if I'm ready to put my name to that. But Swanee, how did you find it out there, bud?
Yeah, I agree with Jacques. I think it's going to be up there. I was blown away, to be quite honest. I think the conditioning was amazing. The greens are phenomenal. The layout is exceptional. The changes they've made are so good. Like before, as I said on the one hole, you feel a bit lost a bit lonely when you walk on a few of the holes prior. Now they've opened up that bush. You can see the other holes. You can see the other players. You can see what's happening. That for me was pretty cool. I just think overall the guys have done a bloody good job at changing the contours of the greens, which were. I mean, the greens are amazing. Ghazi, hey, what do you think? We'll get to Ghazi just now.
No, sorry, I don't know.
You lifted your mic, so I thought you wanted to ask me something. And that drop shark, that was definitely greenkeeper's rubble. There was a couple of old trees that they'd cut down and kind of made a wood pile. There was even some grass cuttings that an oak had taken from a lawnmower and placed them next to my ball.
We did accuse Swanee of having some hazard tape in his bag, and whenever he got a bad lie, just putting some hazard tape onto some of the branches next to him and calling it greenkeeper's rubble.
For the record, it had no relevance because Terence got the stroke wrong. He said it was a stroke 5, which was actually a par 5. But anyway, he said we halved the hole. Turned out actually we lost the hole because Terence made 5 for 3.
You sunk such a nice putt. I wanted to make you feel better for halving the hole. It's funny how guys would far more likely to talk about their match than like course architecture. Like it only took us like 2 minutes to get into like how dodgy someone's drop was. My like initial thoughts are that there's 2 parts of it. For me, the greens, like just in like exclamation mark, like wow, like you guys, you literally can't believe the change. If you've played DCC a lot over the years, there are what feels like almost brand new greens. They've moved greens by 30, 40 meters in some places, backwards and left and right. And then just some of the greens which are still in the same place completely changed the contours, added like incredibly interesting terraces, tiers. It's some of those greens, like I was saying to Swanee, like I could imagine going and sitting around there and chipping golf balls for like half an hour because they're just like so much fun. Like that 17th hole, like I want to hit that shot again that I hit now out of the rough like 5 times just to try and get it come down the right slope, you know.
I'd like to hit my one again that I played it into the bush.
But I think the second thing, so the big one for me is the greens, the way they've been designed with big false fronts, big runoffs on all sides. And then for me, it's the sight line. So it's the way they've cleared vegetation on the course to give you these sight lines across the course. So whether that's a hole, like looking down the length of a hole. Swanee, you and I commented on the 7th hole. The 16th hole, how they've cut back that bush on the right-hand side. Now suddenly you can just see the front edge of the green. Like, you never used to have those views before. And then a hole for me, I think of, the 3rd hole was always, the par 5, Jacques, was always like, it'd been described previously as like looking down the barrel of a gun. And they haven't changed that alignment at all. The green's in the same place. It's got more of a tier now. But the 5th hole now, they've moved the green over to the left. And when you stand on that tee, you can see the pin. And so you there's almost like a bit of a theme of that here at DCC, where you have these like sight lines of like, they put the flag. I mean, if you look at the 8th hole, you stand in the middle of the fairway on the 8th hole, you're looking through those valleys of dunes and that bunk and whatever, but you just see the pin just chilling there. And it's completely intentional the way they've done that. So you've always got this like distant view of the pin. And then what's really improved it is by ripping out all that like crappy silverleaf bush and stuff. One of the comments I made to Jacques on like the 11th hole, I was like, Jacques, did you ever notice all these trees out here before? And there's some amazing trees which I've obviously been here for 60 or 70 years, but they've been hidden in that dense like whatever bush that they've ripped out now. I mean, a good example of that, I think, is between the 10th and the 14th hole. I mean, there's like 6 trees there, which I literally didn't even know existed. I ended up right behind one of them, which was fucking epic. But yeah, those are just kind of my probably my top 2 things is sort of greens, unbelievable.
Look, I think
the sight lines.
You need to mention the burn that goes through and plays a huge role now in the back nine. The back nine, if you think about 10 was a bit of a boring hole.
Used to be an easy 9.
Yeah, so 10 now is a very interesting second shot. The other par 5, I think it's which 14. One? 14. The 14th, the same thing. Now you've got water down the right. You've got 13 again. The burn comes through. So the burn plays a big role in a lot of the holes that were, I don't want to say boring, because I mean they were epic holes, but I mean they are certainly enhanced by the burn that comes through, and means that DCC is probably not going to be out of action for 6 months every time we get more than predicted rain. But it has hugely improved those holes and the experience and the risk and reward on those shots. I'm really in on the burn, and I know it's a small sort of, maybe an aesthetic thing, but the bridges that they've built across there with that sort of, I don't know, I'm not a big DIY guy. What do you call it? Baloo.
Baloo, which is weathered beautifully. Yeah. Weathered Baloo.
Yeah. Look, I might be completely wrong on that. I'm not great on my words. Yeah. But I mean,
DCC would never put pine.
Yeah,
in,
but it looks like aesthetically, it looks very pleasing with
nice.
all those bridges that are there going across the burn. Look, I don't know, Terence.
Concerned about guys taking the wrong turn and trying to drive a golf cart over a couple of those bridges.
They're not those. Some of those bridges aren't for golf carts.
I'm just concerned that guys might think that they are.
Yeah. But Terence, I'm also interested because I know you're a big Royal Durban burn fan. So how do you find the burn at DCC with those blue wooden bridges compared to Royal's stormwater concrete drain that goes through there? Because that was one of the best par 5s in your opinion.
So I'm gonna if I'm super critical, when I heard like burn, like slightly disappointed with the texture of the burn, because in my mind I envisaged that they were gonna do like literally a stone wall down, like a square stone wall burn, like Carnoustie or St Andrews exactly. So listen, I understand that's a hell of a cost to go to build a stone wall all the way through there. But yeah, look, it's a bit more of a U-shape burn. Listen, I'm not a hydrology engineer, but I'm a little concerned how much water's in that burn, and it's
Already.
the middle of winter.
There hasn't been much rain.
And Terence, you got a bit lucky on the one shot. It rolled down, and if it was concrete, you would have been in the water, but it sat on the bank.
Yeah,
just remember that. That's play to your favor.
No,
if that was summer, that would have been in the water.
That's true. So it does allow you maybe access to it. Guy, I want to throw it to you
Yes.
as our member. Thank you again for hosting us, Guy. What are I mean, you've obviously played here several times now. How give us a membership perspective from how the members have found the changes? What the talk is in the Champions Bar. We're just sitting outside the Champions Bar here now. I can see there's a big table of people in there. What are the members saying around the changes and how they feel about the course? From a playability perspective, from conditioning.
To be fair, most of the members are playing off the blue tees, so
Definitely the ones inside, but that's a valid question, right? Because you got to make these changes mainly for the members. It's not for necessarily for us or for the pros that may come and play. Give us that perspective, Guy.
Thanks, Terence. So just going back firstly to you guys' rankings of the course. Obviously, I'm heavily biased. My great-grandfather actually played on the first day that Durban Country Club was opened, or the first day that they played golf at Durban Country Club. According to his life story, kind of think probably wouldn't be lying, but and yeah, Terence, as you said, I'm a member. Terence was actually a member of this club in his a few years back.
so was I.
So was Jacques, and I think Jacques Jacques played a lot of golf here, and I think you won the squash league a couple of times. So
Just once. We won it and then came stone last the next year.
yeah, but so at least one league win. This club is a very special place, and the changes have been awesome. I think. The biggest issue that Durban Country Club has had is that for 1 month on average, for 1 month of every year, the course was closed due to flooding. So the club would lose a month of income every year. So the first big change, or fundamentally, they required changes to the layout to stop the flooding and to basically get rid of excess water on the course. So obviously, that's the main reason for the burns and dams and everything else. There's a new dam, I think, on the 7th, if you look on the left side of the hole. The members are generally happy with the new layout. I think also the course became too easy for professional golfers, too short. So a lot of the holes have been extended, like the 14th. I think it's now 60 or 70 meters longer. And with the Johnson Open, with the Johnson Open happening here now on an annual basis, there has been a need to make the course a lot harder. The Johnson Open used to be called the Natal Open, which was a tournament that was that hasn't been for many years, but they basically restarted it. I think the members that we have are very happy with the changes, and when we have had some flooding since the changes have been made, there hasn't been any issues.
It's very interesting to hear that around like how that was a big sacrifice that members had to make in terms of the course closing and like the future of the club. Obviously. For those who don't know, Guy described it well there, but outside of the flooding of the course, like the club has been in a lot of financial distress for the last probably 10 to 15 years. There was the issue of, we probably don't need to do a deep dive into it, but DCC used to own a second course called Beechwood, which is down the road, and that added to the financial stress, and at some point that was released, and so it's gone through quite a roller coaster ride in the last sort of 2 decades, and it is regarded by many in the sort of golfing echelons in South Africa as like the sort of the old lady of South African golf, and something that really needed to be looked after and brought back to life. And I think that based on what I saw today, like it's definitely achieved that, and it's obviously got quite a way to go with the conditioning and that, but I think as members and as general South African public. I think what the message we can bring from our tiny little voice, from our tiny little podium that we have in South African golf, is to say that, guys, they've done a really great job here in terms of the architecture. So you guys must be pretty stoked.
Oh, thanks, Terence. Yeah, so just one more second bite of the cherry. Durban Country Club, obviously I'm a member, so I'm very biased. Durban Country Club has hosted the most SA Opens obviously in South Africa, and many of the best golfers in the past have played here. We're busy sitting at the Champions Bar, and if the guys here look around, I mean, Arnold Palmer's played here and many other greats, and so hopefully Durban Country Club can get back and host the SA Open again soon. There have been promises of us getting to host it potentially next year, but who knows?
Well, when Terence and I did the which courses in South Africa should be on the rota, and we sort of said, okay, we'll pick, what was it, 1 or 2, Terence, from each province. But I think we said 1 from each province, and Durban Country Club in Natal or KZN was an absolute no-brainer. I mean, I would be saying if there was a rota of 3 courses in South Africa that would be hosting the SA Open on a rota, Durban Country Club has to be one of those courses.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jockey. I must say though, we spoke of the greens a few times. They are unreal. They're definitely better than Cotswold, Jock.
I knew that was coming. They might get there. It'll take a couple of years for them to grow in.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I think from a true look, Cotswold greens are good, but these greens were, for something that's just opened up in March, if you think about that timeline, they're good. They're probably a little bit better than Gowrie as well.
Just firing shots. This is a proper drive-by.
Just thought we'd just have a quick go. Nutsburg, they are. Nutsburg probably better than Nutsburg as well.
Just behind Nutsburg.
No, they're like amazing. Just one thing I wanted to mention though on the course, obviously that's what we're talking about, is 13. Is that right, yeah? 13 is the only drivable par 4. Am I correct in saying that?
Well, I mean, you could argue that the 6th hole is drivable.
The 6th is drivable
as well.
Yeah, that's
the one after the stroke
true.
one.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I must say, I found 13 from a driving and what you said with all the burns. I found that very tasty in a sense. So like you can either lay up, like I said to Jacques, I had 2 minds here. Either hit a 5-iron off the box and duck hook it into the little burn on the left, or just go and try and bomb a driver. And if I hit a bit right, I end up on what holds that, 5 or 6 is fairway.
Yeah,
6.
6
what
fairway.
You just said, yeah, 6 is fairway.
6 box.
Yeah, the other drivable green. could drive that green from 12, from 13. So yeah, I must say that for me was really, really cool, and I think it was a good ad because that hole before was just bomber driver, wherever it goes, didn't matter.
But I think on that hole, let's just quickly, because I think there's a big thing about that hole which has made it way better than it used to be, is that what they've done with the green now and the contouring around the green there. I mean, all 3 of us that picked the safe sort of right miss off the box were absolutely boned with our shots in. I mean, you've got to fly a big bunker. And if you get the yardage wrong, all 3 of us hit the bank that sort of goes away from you after the green. And I mean, I think both you and Terence were in tree stumps or the bottom of trees. And
Look, I'll be honest, I thought I was in greenkeeper's rubble there. So
just didn't have
I
the
didn't want to
time.
bring it
Ask
up.
for a ruling,
if we'd lost the match, I might have brought it up. But, we that didn't happen.
You ask, you don't get.
No, you're right, Jockey. They want you to go down the left-hand side of that fairway. So they want you to hit it as close to that burn as possible. Or they want you to hit it onto the 7th tee like Swanee did, if
Easy
you can
chip.
manage that.
What did I make, T?
But you're right. It's an angle hole. They've got some good angles there, and I noticed that across the course. Guys, let's just we're not gonna chat for too much longer, but let's just quickly go around the room here, or the patio rather. Just one hole from each 9 that you think that stood out for you today that you're vibing on. I'm going to start with you, JDB.
Ooh,
one hole from
man.
each 9.
Okay, can I do my front 9 first and then go around?
Yeah,
and
let's
do
do
the
front
back
9. Front 9. We can always
so-
change it.
So you're in 2 holes.
Oh, from each 9. So I get 2 holes. So from the
Yeah, 18 divided by 9.
from the front 9, I'm gonna steal away the I'm gonna say 7. I like what they've done with 7, where they've taken away a lot of the bush on the left. They've also cleared some of the bush on the right, so you can do what I did and sort of blow right drive, and you'll still find it where it used to be into that, what did you call it, silver leaf. So what's nice about that is then
I have no idea if it is silver leaf or not.
then-
That's what I'm going with.
That's what he's calling it. Then you've got
some botanists
you've
after
got
me.
those 2 fairway bunkers which sort of pinch the green where you're driving it, which I like. So if you're going to take it on, you're not going to potentially, I mean, the big hitters will lose the ball, but for the most part, the medium to shorter hitters, you're not losing a ball with that drive. But all the risk then is on your approach shot. They've taken out the bunkers, or the bunker short right of that green, and I think they've made the bunker that was left of that green a bit smaller. But it is a bit of an inverted saucer, and they've cleared a lot of it around the green there as well. For me, it just has made the hole a lot more risk reward. It seems a lot more inviting, but I think it's probably not going to play more inviting, if that makes any sense. So for me, 7 would be my pick for the hole on the front 9.
Okay. So 7's off the table. Swanee, what do you like?
Yo,
Front 9, what is your pick? We're not going to hold you to this.
No,
you can,
I'm
down the line,
gonna-
you can always change your pick.
I actually, I like the stroke one. I like the fact that they moved that green left. I think that was good. I found that bunker that they added on the left-hand side as well, as Jacques found out, was very, very worthy of its course.
Lots of sand in that bunker.
Just
Lots
on the
of sand
bunkers.
now on the green after I
Before
was in that bunker.
inconsistency, sand's always been an issue in KZN generally in bunkers. Besides Cotswold, they got good bunkers there. The
Thank you,
Sanja,
Swanee.
the Sanja,
Appreciate that apology.
the Sanja is unreal. I mean, Terence,
Incredible.
your bunker play today.
Yeah,
Besides when
I-
you're
I-
practicing,
No, I had some terrible warm-ups with Jacques on the practice bunker, and then Jacques gave me a few tips, and then I think we swapped powers. I had
I was gonna say-
the bunker power.
are
out
you
there.
sure Jacques gave you tips?
Well, sorry, can I just quickly come in here? Swanee the one time gave me a bunker lesson which I'll never forget. And this is actually still the bunker tips I use when I play. So Swanee basically was like, put a ball down at VCC by the bunker there in the practice area. And he's like, okay, so what you do is you stand here, you put your feet here, you ground it. Then this is the swing thought you have, and this is the swing you take. And then what you do is you just take a full swing like here, and then it should be right by the flag. And he bladed it into the pro shot.
That's so sick.
Yeah, Jacques been a great bunker player since. Yeah, so stroke one for me. I think that was a good change. I also like the hole straight after that as well, which we discussed earlier, which was 6.
Yeah,
Very, very cool.
6th hole.
Yeah.
I think for me on the front 9, guys, it still has to be the 3rd hole, like that par 5. It's so tight between that and the 8th because I was seriously vibing on the 8th hole today. By the way, cleared out a huge amount of bush on the right because I hit a huge Hail Mary out there. Found my ball very close to the 11th green. Thank you. Please send my thanks to the team for cutting all that bush back. But yeah, I always love the way you look down that valley, as I say, looking over all those dunes that approach to the 8th. But I think for me, the 3rd hole green, like, it's so sick, Oaks. I mean, that where that pin was today, up on the top right there, it's like this huge like tier that you got to putt up, and then that thing just falls away left and right still. So if you, I mean, Swanee, you and I left our balls short of that green today, which is probably the place to miss. But if you left, like, or Jacques was right, he was like dead. He had to putt over a big mound. So, and if you left, that ball's going to run down almost into that bush. So it's still such a great. There's a risk reward element to that par 5. I mean, we were hitting irons in there today, but good drives and irons, and yet it is still like a tough.
But the only
tough
thing
hole.
they've really changed on the 3rd, and guys, you correct me if I'm wrong here. The only thing they've really changed on the 3rd is the green complex.
Yeah, 100%.
But I mean, you
which
can't,
which just shows
it's
like
like trying to
don't-
don't mess with what's
don't
what's
mess
right.
with the
yeah.
supermodel.
It's like trying to paint a moustache on the
why would
Mona
you
Lisa.
change one of the top holes in the world? Yeah. So pop some new sand in the bunkers and I think the changes to the green are good. Like, they haven't changed. The fundamentals of that green were always that it ran away left and right. They've just added some more interest in terms of the contours of that green. So that's my pick. What is your favorite hole on the front nine, guys?
Yeah, thanks, Terence. Yeah, so as a loyal member of Durban Country Club, I'd say all 18.
Can I just say, I love how Ghazi, I love it.
1 to 9.
Ghazi preface every single answer with like, I'm a Durban Country Club member, so I am biased in answering this question.
But yeah, my favorite change would probably be to the second hole, the second tee box. We've cut quite a lot of bush away. So from the tee box now, there's amazing views of the sea and the city, and on a lot of other parts of the course, they've now cut back a lot, where you can actually now see the best parts of the course. Also are we still talking? Can I talk about the back nine, or
yeah, you give us your back nine pick.
Before we segue into the back nine, just the first green is sick as well. Like the fact that they've cut that bush away on the back left. Talking about the second tee box, I mean, there's a crazy drop off to the right that Swanee found. Guys, your and my balls like a meter shorter would have run all the way back down onto the green. It's the first hole is actually very underrated on this course. So just wanted to give a shout out to the first hole. It's epic.
Yeah, thanks, Terence. Yeah, that first hole they've actually moved the they've moved the tee boxes right back. I don't know if you had a look, but for when they host the next big tournament, right back almost to the pool. But yeah, so on the back nine, probably my favourite change is to the Prince of Wales, the 12th hole. They've made quite a big change to the green. They've made a big cut in the green. I can't remember what was
the name?
Yeah, it's a Bayritz. So they've built a Bayritz green, which is like a template of it's a famous template type hole, which comes from North Berwick in Scotland, but a lot of courses, like a lot of really good courses around the world, have got their own kind of takes on a Bayritz, and that hole used to be very like a case of hitting the green, and if you missed left and right, you were probably going to make like double, but if you landed on the green, it was generally like a 2-putt par, and it was like fairly mundane. You now have this sick, like literally valley in the middle of the green. And today we had probably the hardest pin that you could get on that hole, front pin. So sorry, that's what it is, and I think they've executed it like really well, because it's a proper test. Like Swanee tried to really just land his ball on the front there, because that's what you had to do. The greens are still a little hard, and he was maybe a meter away from being perfect, and his ball came back down. Probably should have gone in the bunker, but I mean, it was super cool hole. Love it.
Awesome, thanks, Terence.
So what are we doing? The back nine holes now. Yeah. So back nine hole for me, yes, and I would love to take one of the holes that the burn ran through. Say burn, are we calling it a burn?
Yeah, can we call it a burn, guy?
What do we call it?
That's what the club calls it.
Okay, that's what the club calls it. Then that's what we're calling it.
So, but I'm not going to go.
Johnson called it that though.
So we're not gonna go with one of the burn holes. For me, I'm gonna take it off the table early, and I'm gonna go with the 17th. The only change to the 17th is the green and the green complex. They've tucked the green left into the dunes there, and I think it's a 3-tiered green now, or certainly is it two or 3-tiered? 3-tiered.
It's 2 tiers. It's 2 tiers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 tiers.
It's 2 tiered. So
one tier from each. That Swanee Swanee beats us on that all.
So
from your guys' eyes.
I've always loved the 17th. Has actually always been my favorite hole at DCC. Just coming in, looking at the stadium, you got the ocean on your left. You've got the stadium on your right, and the elevation changes on that fairway are unbelievable. But now with the change to the green complex, where you've got that 2-tier tucked into the dune, and we had a left pin today, so you basically had to come over, the dune. There's a bit of a waste bunker on top of it, which Swanee was a big fan of, although he didn't hit it into it. epic hole now. I mean, 17 is way better with that green.
No, I could probably. You've taken 17 off the board, so I could.
Shaman, you love that hole, Terence. That was your chat.
If I had to go and play by the rules, I'd probably go and take like 18. After that, I've always loved the 18th hole. Obviously, birdied it today to win the match, so there's that as well. But I can't like not.
You were 4 up after 4 though.
I can't like not co-sign the 17th with you, Jacques. Like I think the other holes around, like the design changes that have been made on the other holes, obviously a lot of it to do with the burn, with trying to deal with the water, and that's I love the 12th. That Barrett's green is flipping amazing. Like really, it's epic. There's as far as I'm aware, there isn't another green like that in SA. I think the 14th has become a real monster.
Terence, are you just picking every hole in the back now?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that like a lot of the changes have been due to that like moving of the water. But that 17th hole is like I think it's my favorite hole on the golf course now. Like it's like that green. When I saw that green side and I saw that pin, like I just saw this like grass like on either sides of it, and just this like little wooden flag sticking out. Shout out the flag sticks, by
Flags
the way.
are epic.
The wooden flag sticks, like come on, like that's amazing.
But Swanee did make a good point that when the wind picks up properly as it does in Durban, those things might be splintered.
100%.
I'm sure there's budget in the members' fees to replace those flag sticks. But yeah, 17's epic, bro.
You didn't mention 10 though. I mean, you went through every other hole.
Terence, how can you love the flags at DCC, which are like they're beautiful but they like reloved broomsticks. I mean, we had a couple of those at Cathedral Peak, and you had a proper moan about those flag sticks.
I think those were reloved rakes at Cathedral Peak. There was no like wooden texture to those. Those were literally like sawn off rakes. Yeah. Cathedral Peak, damn, they really need to work on those flag sticks. But yeah, I'm like, as a gallery member now, I'm like, shit, we need to get better flag sticks. Like, fucking those wooden. Maybe we need to go for those like wicker baskets that they have at like Marion or something like that. I'll chat to Guy Smith, see what he thinks.
Swan, what hole have you picked on the back nine?
I'm going with 10.
There aren't any holes left.
No, I'm going to go with 10 just because you never chose 10. But I thought 10 it's a massive change. So 10, obviously your tee shot's still the same, but then after that, there's a factor now that you got to lay up because there's that burn that runs in front of the green and to the left. Before you could kind of hit your drive, hit a 3-wood, and be up there,
or lose it in all the bush that was on the left, which they've taken out, which is way better.
Yeah, 100%. But I found like the whole visual aspect of 10's changed when you approach the green. It wasn't this like. Before you just arrive, it's a green in front of you with a bit of like grass on the left. Now it's kind of intimidating, and it almost looks raised if you think about it. If you're walking up with all that water running around, dropping off on the left. And you made a point, Terence. You said if you do hit it left and you miss the green by 2 or 3 meters, it's probably going to run down that bank.
Totally. They've shaved that. There's no like long grass there. So left of that 10 green is you in the bin.
And then protected by the bank on the right, which is pretty good. And it's a big green. I think that green, as per the, let's actually have a look here. We got it here. What's the size of 10's green? 34 meters, but it's not as big as Prince of Wales, which is 50. Your favorite, Ghazi. Yeah, so that for me, 10 and 13. I enjoyed 13, obviously, because I also made birdie there, Terence. You weren't the only one who made birdie today. I actually made 2 birdies.
Well done.
Thank you.
No, cool, X. I mean, thanks. You can hear we've covered quite a lot of holes there, and we're quite excited about a lot of them. Maybe let's round everyone off with how the match went today. I can set the scene. Like essentially, the goat track flew out to an early lead. When I say the goat track, it was myself and T-Bag and JDV versus Swan and Guy. Flew out to an early lead, and essentially we're very much in control. We made the turn at 3 up.
2 up. We were. We were
Oh,
four.
okay.
We were four
Hang
up,
on.
and then we lost. Sorry, not lost. We were 4 up. We lost 2 holes
So
at
we
the
were-
end of it. So
we
we were
were
2
f-
up after 9.
We were 4 up after 6.
Correct.
You're 4
Okay.
up after 6, and you're
Okay.
3 up after 3, and you off of 13 were 1 under after 3. just for the
Okay, so we were actually in control at the 6th hole, and then it started evening out / potentially getting a little bit dicey. Jock, talk us through that middle patch.
Look, I think, Terence, you were firing on all cylinders. I was definitely the bridesmaid to your bride for the initial part at the wedding. I think
Like the third bridesmaid. You went,
yeah,
you went like
I
the
was-
maid,
I
you
was-
went like the maid of honor. You were like that that last one who
Yeah,
just
yeah.
gets picked like right at the end.
the one
when
on
you're
the-
like shit.
we run out of people.
When the groom's like, listen, I've got 4
Yeah.
groomsmen, and you're like, oh god, I got to pick
Okay,
one of my
so-
mates to be a bridesmaid.
So that was me for the front 9, Terence. I think you were definitely the spotlight was on you. But Swanee also, look, I mean, you had a go at Terence being a ringer, but you had the
I
most
never said
points
that
off
for the
today.
record. That's incorrect.
But yeah, T, I
Just to
think
clarify, Swanee who did play in the SA Amateur Championship at Pill Valley, as all our listeners know, was playing off an 8 today.
yeah, the same as
Um,
me, who absolutely
same
did
as
not
our
play
co-host,
at the
JDV.
SA Amateur Championship. But yeah, T, and
That's
then
my handicap.
T, do you want me to go through the
37 points.
the 37 points?
Oh, 79, 37 points. Okay.
But look. I mean, it was. I felt we were in control. We lost a couple of holes at the end of the first 9. We turned 2 up, and let me just say that if I was annoyed with my putting, which I was, and again, I'm trying not to be Sean de Villiers and making the match about myself. So I was still trying to help you with your reads and be supportive as opposed to going into the absolute gutter of my
You
brain.
were a bit quiet there. a
Luckily,
while.
I was quiet because it could have been worse. Anyway, I tell you what didn't lift my spirits was the halfway house. So anyway, I came there thinking, okay, got through a pretty
Pine curry gravy
tough.
with a piece of white
yeah,
bread.
pretty tough 9 for me. I mean, not that the golf course made it tough. My golf made it tough. I shot 47 on the front 9 with, I think, three putts in a row to finish off.
It's not like off an 8 handicap. That's not what I'm looking for. in a
No,
partner.
no. Well, look, I mean, and then I came in thinking, well, normally if I get a nice chicken wrap, I know half had a go at me for having chicken wraps at halfway. Maybe I'll right the ship.
I didn't see chicken wrap on that menu.
I can tell you there were 2 things on the menu: pies, or like
Also, but I mean, 4 different types of pies.
yeah, or sandwiches in like cellophane, and your options were cheese and tomato, or like what was it, egg mayo, and it, like honestly, I think
I got a custom made chicken mayo. If you requested, you could get a custom made
I also
chicken
got one.
mayo.
I didn't know you
But
could.
it was a
request.
but Jock, it is a container. I mean, you can't expect much.
Well, that was my next point, is that Terence said that the previous clubhouse at DCC was, a converted container, which it was,
It was tough.
but now it's an actual container. Ghazi did say that they upgraded from a caravan, so at least we're moving in the right
I think
direction.
the caravan would have been better. Like,
Yeah.
I think
If you're gonna lean in.
like exactly, like make it quaint. Like I don't know.
So
we,
anyway,
we're not doing drive. We're not
Terence,
doing drive-bys.
I'm
here,
doing a
but
quick drive by. I grabbed my egg mayo sami with my Coke Zero, and I sat on the dustbin to eat it in silence. I sat away from Yokes because I was like, let me just give myself a bit of time.
I noticed that you were sort of in a meditative space there. All right. Well, I mean,
Anyway, I've had
this
rants
sort of-
over.
It feels like a therapy session. Yeah, I just wanted to get like your views on how the match went.
Jock, are you okay?
Okay. Well,
So
look,
just
and
take a
then
moment.
we hoodwinked. We on the 10th hole we hoodwinked Swanee into thinking he'd halved it with a really good putt, and then actually he'd lost the hole because I misread the scorecard. And we won the 11th. And I mean, we get to the 12th. We're in command. I mean,
And you won the 12th.
we're 4 up. We're
Yeah.
3 up on the 12th tee. We win the 12th. No, we halved the. I think we halved the 12th.
No, we won the
Um,
12th.
You won the 12th.
Yeah, we went back to 4 up after.
You boys
the,
were 4 up through
after
12.
Okay,
the-
so we get to the
12.
13th tee, and then Swanee decides he's not having any of it.
Yeah, I'm not going to hit a 5 iron off the box. I'm just going to smash a driver
Talk
onto
us
the
through
tee
it.
box on the right. Little chip off the side, make birdie. Then we had the par 5. Ghazi spoke me through the whole thing. You guys are the mare. You're Jock.
So I
Jock
don't know
nearly
what-
hit it in the burn.
I don't know
on
what
10.
that hole looks like. I don't know what that hole looks like. I snap hooked it
You
left
just saw
and I
10
just
twice.
played 10 again.
I blanked out on that hole totally. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
That's where you
much
got a bit
about that
lucky
hole.
with the burn, didn't you? You hit it over. And
No,
No,
but
yes, that was
yeah,
all
but
right.
that was
on
like
the edge,
my
yeah.
sixth
True.
shot.
True.
So,
Yeah.
you
You
took
won that.
advantage. You took advantage of us there.
And then you guys set us up nicely to tee off first on the par 3, which is now quite a short par 3 opposed to what it used to be.
So they've changed that hole. So it used to be right next to the road. And look, I mean, there was one hole where Swanee, I think you tried to tell me something, or I tried to tell you something. No clue what you said, because some oak was revving his car around Morningside Blue Lagoon
There was
area.
a free flow exhaust that came past, bro.
100%.
But that hole's good now. I mean,
Yeah.
it was fine before, but I like that hole now. It's nice.
They all
yeah.
learned from my mistake
Yeah.
though. But then, yeah, I think
We-
we halved that though, because
we
I had the
halved-
bunker short and I
we
made up
halved
and
that
down.
hole. We were 2 up.
Yeah.
2 up with 3 to play, still feeling in control. And then I hit what can only be described as a dental tee shot on the 16th hole with a 4-iron in the thunder. Oaks, my partner straight away said to me, "That's OB." Like, just fuck.
Gazi said, you'll find that. And I said, absolutely OB.
Thanks for showing faith in me.
You're in the
partner.
same place as Charles Watzel.
I was not. If I was, I would have birdied the hole. But I was a knick-knack packet away, because there was an actual knick-knack packet there. I can tell you, I was a knick-knack packet away from the OB line in it.
Gazi, was that your knick-knack packet?
Yeah, it's funny. So, like, that section is where all, like, the
Yeah.
litter from the whole of Durban ends up.
I can confirm that. Because I had to. There were some loose impediments there, and I don't want to describe to you what I picked up, because I felt like I needed plastic gloves. But yeah, I try to get it back in play. But then, yeah, Jock, you and I just kind of hacked our way through that hole. Missed a few putts. We got to the 17th. So now we won. Now we won up with 2 to play. Things are looking tough. Swanee drives it in the left rough. Gazi hits what I can only be described as his biggest banana bender of the day. We haven't even really talked about Gazi's approach to golf, but let's just say that he was aiming probably for the second tee box with that drive. Maybe left of the second
Look,
tee
I
box.
mean, there's a
with the
tree.
amounts of
There's a
left to
tree
right
that's
that he
meant
has.
to stop you from, like, going left.
Hitting people.
And Gazi basically aims it at that tree. Was that the hole that you hit the leaves on the tree and then?
No, that was a par 5, yeah.
Okay.
No. But
Okay.
anyway, that was a big one. That was your biggest
You still hit the fairway.
biggest
though,
banana
Gazi.
bender of the day. And but anyway, Swanee hit a great approach out of the rough there, and managed to get up and down, which neither Jacques or I could do. So there we were on the 18th tee, all square, and talk us through it, Jacques.
So, yeah, Gazi and I were non competitive on that, so I'm going to just exclude us from the conversation. Terence, you hit a nice 3-wood, I think, into a driver. Okay, sorry, looked like a 3-wood. Driver into the wind, you hit it, into the bunker left. Swan, you also hit a 3-wood, which was just short of the green. Terence came out of the bunker, epic shots, probably left yourself a 7-footer? 6-footer?
7.
Actually 8. Actually, if I think about it, it's probably an 8 or a 9-footer. Maybe
felt like 9.5.
Maybe a 10-footer.
Irrelevant.
I don't know what the stats people would say.
Swanee was a bit tentative with his chip. Left himself probably
Caught it too clean.
about 11 feet. Anyway, completely misread the putt. He thought it was going right to left. It went left to right. It was a pretty routine. Well, we made you mark it, but it was going to be a
Still
routine
sank it.
par. Yeah, it was going to be a routine par.
We were going to give it to you.
So Terence had a putt for the match. Downhill, left to right. I said half a ball left. Hit it firm. You'll make the putt. That's what he did. made the putt?
Well, I actually took like a ball and a half. Just FYI, just partner, just to tell you, I didn't quite take your read. I took
there
a
you
little
go.
bit more on it.
I love it.
But I did hit it firm. And
It's a
yeah.
way better putt than Rory on 18, eh?
Yeah, exactly. That was it. Murder She Wrote. Oaks, this has been super fun. I think everyone listening at home can hear the beers are flowing here. So Oaks are getting what was supposed to be a 20-minute summary of DCC is turned into a 49-minute post-mortem. Guysy, thanks so much for having us, boy. It's been really lacquer day, bro. We look forward to 6 weeks' time for our next match, yeah?
Yeah, well, remember, we've only got,
Yeah.
3 more times left.
Well, exactly. We'll space them out.
Sorry, the rule is here at DCC is
2
if
months'
you're
time.
The rule here at DCC is if you play with a member, you can play 4 times a year. But if you play as a visitor, you only get 2 opportunities. So, Ghazi, thank you very much. This is 25% of my quotes are done.
Unless you come as another alias.
Swanee, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for everything you do for the game. And that is a wrap, Oaks. That is our DCC wrap. You got to come play here. It is growing in, guys. So don't have expectations of it looking like Augusta. It's growing in, but just the layout and the architecture, the changes they've made, world class. So looking forward to seeing the return of the grand old lady back to South African golf. And with that, we are out. Good evening.